and watch the Denver Broncos meet their opponents in the exciting, explosive, thrilling American League each fall. Bear Stadium, where tens of thousands viewed some of the most entertaining football played anywhere. Bear Stadium, where such stars were born as Frank Tripucka, Lionel Taylor, Al Carmichael, Gene Mingo, Goose Gonsolin, Bud McFadden of Denver. Bear Stadium, where a hard-nosed, experienced combination of general manager Dean Griffin and head coach Frank Filchak fashion a violent and shattering football team from over 200 candidates who started head-knocking for jobs in July of 1960. Now let's review Denver's first experience in professional football as exemplified by the American Football League. The season opened on a warm, pleasant night just a stone's throw from the hallowed halls of Harvard University as the Broncos and the Boston Patriots played the first game in regular season competition ever performed in the American Football League. To Al Carmichael, former University of Southern California star, went the honor of scoring the initial touchdown in the new circuit. It was a 41-yard flat pass play from quarterback Tripucka which enabled the Broncos to score on the first play in the second quarter after the Patriots had kicked a field goal midway in the first period. Then in the third quarter, Gene Mingo electrified the crowd of better than 20,000 with a magnificent 76-yard punt return down the sidelines, and a late Boston touchdown resulted in a final score of Denver 13 and Boston 10. Nine days later in War Memorial Stadium in Buffalo, New York, the Broncos' alert pass defense results in a total of 6 pass interceptions, 4 of them, incidentally, by halfback Goose Gonsolin, who goes on to snare 11 of them for the season to lead the league in that department. But the climactic one comes midway through the fourth quarter when Johnny Pyatt nabs a Tommy O'Connell pass on the Bills' 40 and goes all the way for the winning score as the Broncos triumph 27-21. Five days later, the Broncos conclude their Eastern tour with a storybook finish in reverse at the Polo Grounds against the Titans of New York. It was an unbelievable finish as the Broncos led 24-21 with 24 seconds to play when a blocked punt results in a loose ball. Roger Donahue pounces on it and runs into the end zone. The conversion is good. There are 15 seconds to play, and the Titans win 28-24. Early in the second quarter, lightning struck the Raiders as the Broncos moved to the Raiders' 12-yard line with a third down, 6 to go. Suddenly, Tripucka hit end Lionel Taylor with a pass in the end zone, and Denver moved ahead to stay. But that was merely a start. 11 plays later, Al Romine intercepts a Babe Parilli pass on the Denver 26 and brings it back to the Bronco 44. Then the magic combination of the T-Boys, Tripucka to Taylor, results in another touchdown. Immediately after the kickoff, end Bill Yelverton snares a Flores pass in the flat and waltzes 20 yards for the touchdown. 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes, 36 seconds. After an Oakland third-quarter score, Tripucka moved the Broncos again. After a fumble recovery, 2 line plays moved the ball to the Denver 43. Fullback Dave Raleigh swings around the left side and tightropes down the sidelines for 57 yards and a touchdown, and the final score reads Denver 31, Oakland 14. Following a bye in the schedule, Coach Sid Gilman brought his Los Angeles Chargers to the stadium. In the second quarter, with the Chargers leading 10-6, Taylor plucks off a sensational catch of a Trapuka pass, and Mingo splits the uprights for a 10-9 halftime score. Late in the third quarter, Paul Lowe, the magnificent Los Angeles halfback, embarks on a 44-yard run to put the Invaders into a 23-9 lead. But the Broncos give evidence of their comeback powers then and there as Carmichael returns the kickoff from the end zone to the Charger 28. Field goal follows, and a later fumble recovery results in a touchdown, but the Broncos go on to a heartbreaking 23-19 defeat. Suddenly the complexion changes as Denver drives from its 20-yard line, and on the 14th play, Carmichael clutches a Trapuka pass in the end zone for the first Denver score, with the clock showing 2:51 to play in the third period. A Boston fumble on the first play after the kickoff gives the Denvers the ball on the Boston 24. And 3 plays later, Trapuka hits end Bill Jessup from the 19 for the second touchdown in less than 2 minutes, and it's a 24-14 game. After an exchange of punts, Denver takes over on its 35. Raleigh takes a swing pass for a 10-yard gain. And now Taylor takes a flat pass, laterals to Carmichael, who goes all the way, and with 9 minutes plus left in the game, the Broncos trail by only 3 points. This lasts only moments as halfback Bob McNamara picks off Butch Songen's pass on the first play after the kickoff and brings it down to the Boston 4. And 1 play later, the tripper hits Taylor in the end zone, and Denver, with just over 8 minutes to play, has taken the lead. It was 4 touchdowns for the remarkable Broncos in 9.5 minutes, but it's not over as the Broncos intercept another Songen pass following the kickoff, and Mingo picks up 3 points on a 9-yard field goal. Another exchange of punts follows, and the Patriots make it a dying gasp. Songen, back on his own 11, completes a long pass to Jim Colclough on the Denver 28 with less than 30 seconds to play. 2 incomplete passes, then a complete one to the 22, and on the final play, McNamara intercepts a desperation toss in the end zone as the game ends. A fantastic game won by the Broncos, 31-24, as the national TV audience watched the proceedings and the nation's football fans agreed the American Football League had come of age. Two drives by former All-American Jack Spikes of TCU result in a Dallas 7-0 lead. This is short-lived, however, as a few seconds later, Trapuka passes over the middle to Taylor for a first down on the Dallas 47. And then Carmichael breaks through the line, then cuts back to go all the way to tie the game as the first quarter ends. After the Texans score again with a touchdown and a field goal, the Broncos attempt to emulate their previous week's comeback. Deep in their own territory on the Bronco 18 with 3rd and 16, Trapuka passes to Carmichael, who moves to the 40. And 2 plays later, the tripper hits McNamara from the Denver 45. He cuts back and down the western sidelines, eludes would-be tackler Carol Zaruba, and goes for the score to make it 17-14 with 8:48 left to play. A last-second field goal attempt, which goes awry from the Texan 29, almost enabled the Broncos to tie this one, but the final was Dallas 17, Denver 14. The Eastern Division leader, Houston, came to Denver, and scoring was on a wholesale basis. Late in the third quarter, Mingo connected for a 34-yard field goal, which made it Houston 31, Denver 18. After stopping Houston, Denver took over following a punt and drove to the Oiler 26, where Tripp passes down to Carmichael. Al faked Tony Banfield beautifully and went in for the touchdown to make it 31-25. 3 plays later, the fabulous Billy Cannon drives through the middle for a 10-yard gain, and Doug Smith from Little Ripon College takes a draw, cuts back on Bill Groman's fine block, and goes all the way as Houston wins 45-25 in another thriller. A real razzle-dazzle play, typifying the American Football League when Cotton Davidson pitches out to Abner Haynes. Haynes then laterals to Davidson on a ball that hits the ground first and fires a long pass into the end zone, where Curly Johnson makes a fine catch as McNamara narrowly misses an interception. Texas won 34-7. Immediately after the kickoff, Jackie Lee, substituting for the injured George Blanda, completes a pass to Bill Groman for 78 yards and a touchdown. Now in the second quarter, with the ball on the Houston 8-yard line, the Oilers have a 3rd and 18 when Lee again desperately fires to Groman, who goes all the way 92 yards for an American Football League record. A few moments later in the second quarter, Lee of Cincinnati passes to Charlie Hennigan of Northwest Louisiana for 73 yards, and the final Houston score of the game. Ironically, these 3 passes of the 7 attempts by Lee in the first half were the only completions. Now it's the third quarter, and McNamara intercepts a Lee pass, laterals to Romine, and the Broncos take over on the Oiler 46. In rapid succession, Trapuka hits Taylor for 20 yards. Now hits Carpenter for 26. But the final score reads Houston 20, Denver 10 in a classic game. Suddenly, on the first play after the kickoff, with the ball on the Denver 20, Trapuka throws to Taylor, who embarks on this spectacular run for an 80-yard gallop and a touchdown with 19 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the game. Following an exchange of punts, the Broncos now have the ball, 3rd and 10 on their own 35. Quickly, the tripper connects with Greer to the Buffalo 43. and now hits Brodnax to the 24. Then comes a screen pass to Taylor, and suddenly it's 38-21. Incidentally, during that third period, Frank Filchak, disturbed by the lack of protection furnished his ace quarterback, has installed two fullbacks, Don Allen and Brodnax, as blocking backs for the veteran general. Again, the Broncos take over after a Bills punt, this time 2nd and 10 on the Bill 43. Greer grabs this one for 8. Allen is stopped for no gain on a pitch out. Now it's Trapuka to Taylor, who makes a one-handed catch and scores to make it 38-28 with less than 8.5 minutes to play. After the kickoff, Buffalo again fails to move the ball, and now it's the Bronx ball on the Buffalo 10, 3rd down. Tripp hits Taylor, who is out of bounds on the 1. And Allen, Trapuka, and Allen again on line plunges for the touchdown. And there are but 3 points separating the clubs with 4 minutes, 25 seconds left to play. Buffalo doesn't move the ball, and Denver takes a punt on its own 34. And on 3rd down, Tripp hits Taylor to the Buffalo 45. Pass interference against Matsos is called on the 31. Then Greer grabs one at the 20. Carpenter takes one to the 12. 2 incomplete passes ensue, and it's 3rd down on the Bills' 12 with but 9 seconds to play when Mingo goes back to the 19 for the field goal try, which splits the posts with 4 seconds left on the clock. And it's a 38-38 tie, the only deadlock in American Football League history. With 2nd and 6 from their own 49, Al Dorrell, the former Michigan State star, hits Don Maynard, who goes to the Denver 8. Dewey Bowling picks up 3 yards. And Dorrell throws to Art Powell for the score. On the first play after the kickoff, Trapuka's pass is deflected, and Don Mumley grabs it off and goes 26 yards for the second New York tally. In the middle of the 3rd quarter, New York leads 21-7, and the Broncos have a 2nd and 10 on their own 27. Taylor takes a Trapuka aerial to the Denver 42. And now Carpenter takes one to the New York 40. This next pass finds Taylor being tripped, and a pass interference call gives the Broncos a 1st down on the Titan 8. A screen pass to Raleigh loses 7, but Lionel Taylor grabs the next one in the end zone, and it's 21-14. The Titans pick up a field goal and a touchdown and lead 30-14 when the Broncos begin to roll again, this time with a 4th down and 4 on the New York 46. Greer takes a pass to the 38. Taylor takes this one to the 27. Larry Grantham intercepts a Trapuka pass on the 7, slips, gets up, and is hit with savagery by Gene Mingo. He fumbles, and Mingo recovers as Grantham is out cold and has to be carried off the field. It was possibly the hardest single tackle of the year. On this next play, Tripp passes to Mingo in the left flat for a touchdown. A few moments later, after a pass interception by Skip Doyle, the Broncos move to the New York 7, where Taylor takes a Trapuka pass for the final score of the day, and the Titans triumph in another squeaker, 30-27. It's on to sunny California to wind up the season, and the gigantic Coliseum is the scene of the Charger-Bronco game on Saturday, December 10th. Denver wastes no time as they take the opening kickoff and move downfield, where Mingo connects for a 41-yard field goal. After the kickoff, the Chargers forced to punt from their own 23. McNamara gathers it in on the 32 and returns to midfield. On the first play, Raleigh gains 1. And on the next play, Trapuka passes to Taylor for a touchdown. The Chargers react accordingly. After the kickoff, Jack Kemp passes to Don Norton to the Denver 39. Kemp hits Howie Ferguson, who scores the first touchdown for the Chargers. Following a fumble recovery on the Denver 32, Kemp is back to pass, elects to run, and goes to the Denver 7. Paul Lowe then goes through the middle for 4, and then Lowe goes over right guard for the touchdown. So with only 6 minutes and 5 seconds elapsed in the game, it's Los Angeles 14 and Denver 10. Here's a one-time-a-season play as Gene Mingo takes a kickoff on the goal line, and only one man stands between him and pay dirt at the Denver 47. It's old Ben Agajanian, the kicking specialist for the Chargers, and Ben delivers by coming through with the only tackle he makes the entire season. Halfway through the third period, Denver takes over after a punt on the Los Angeles 45. Trapuka throws to Mingo for a first down on the 33. And then to Greer for another on the 21. Greer now makes this sensational catch for a touchdown after it's touched by 2 Chargers, and the Broncos lead 30-24. At the start of the fourth quarter, it's a third down play for Denver. On a trap, picks up 11 yards and a first down. Taylor takes a pass to the Denver 44. Now Carpenter makes the grab, which carries to the Charger 24. Raleigh picks up 5. The 2 incomplete passes set the stage for a 28-yard field goal by Mingo, and the Broncos lead 33-27. The Chargers come back with 2 more touchdowns, but it was a thriller all the way as the Western Division champions win 41-33. But this was a memorable game because Lionel Taylor set a new professional record for pass receptions as he broke Tommy Fear's previous mark. Taylor went on to catch 92 passes for the 12 games in which he played. The final game was against the Oakland Raiders in Candlestick Park in San Francisco, and although the Broncos lost 48-10, it emphasized the unpredictability of America's newest major sports league, ready, willing, and able to open its 1961 season with even greater expectations in its inaugural season. Although Denver won 4, lost 9, and tied 1, there were many satisfying features in the season. First and foremost was the enthusiasm which greeted professional football in this growing area of the nation. Then there were many individual accomplishments, which, coupled with the addition from the 1960 college crop, indicates a much greater 1961 season for Bronco fans. As an example, Quarterback Frank Trapuka paced the league in completions with 248, yards gained passing with 3,038, and percentage with .519. Taylor's 92 pass receptions, Goose Gonsolin's 11 interceptions to lead the circuit, and Gene Mingo's 123 points, tops in the league. These then were the Broncos for 1960. Their best plays, their highlights, their wins, and their losses.